Hello, my name is Jessica and welcome to all attendees to our web seminar today. In a few minutes, I will be able to see my colleague, Edgar Grasel, welcome, who have prepared the subject Business Solutions for Your Personal Matters for you today. A little more information for you before we start. You are muted during the web seminar, but are welcome to ask questions about your GoToWebinar interface in the questions box at any time. After the lecture, we will take the time and answer it. You don't have to take any notes about the web seminar. We will send you the presentation slides in PDF format by email in a short time. Look forward to an interesting presentation, and I greet Edgar and hand over the word.
Thank you, and a warm welcome from Austria. My name is Edgar Grasel, and I will show today our business solutions for your personal matters. When we look in the companies, we see one thing most of the time, that the opinions differ and that the expectations most of the time don't fit to the reality. I'll give you an example. In a survey a few years ago, 101 companies were asked about the digital transformation and digitization in their company. And one of the questions was, how important is the digital transformation in the HR department? And while 67% of the employees in the HR department said that the digital transformation in HR is very important, only 35% of the management people said that the digital transformation in HR is very important. So 65% of management think that digital transformation in HR isn't important. They think, well, we have other things to do or something. On the other hand, the second question in the same survey was, how do you rate the state of digitization in your company? And the people in management said, or 70% of the people in management said that they think the state of digitization in their company is advanced or very advanced. But only 58% of the employees in the HR department had the same opinion. So 42% in the HR department said, well, our digitization in the department is average or poor. So reality looks most of the time like this rather than this. But it could be so easy. When we look the let's say way an employee has in a company, we start with an idea. We start with an idea in a department where someone says, well, I need a new employee, we need a new colleague to help us with our work. And to find new employees, you start the recruiting process. Recruiting process is a personal request which gets approved by a person in the HR department or the CEO or someone. And when it gets approved, then you make a job offer and you get candidates, and the whole recruiting process starts. You have to make some interviews, you have to rate your candidates, and at the end of the day, you will hire one of them. And after you've hired one of them, then the documents which were stored in the recruiting process get into his personal file, where you manage your employees. And as I said before, most of the time, the personal files, I think, are stored in a file storage or something in the HR department or near the person who is responsible for HR. And in those personal files, you have some contracts, you have the personal data, you have some notes in them, and so on. And so we hired a new employee, we made a new personal file, and now we have to educate the new employee. For example, when someone starts in our company, he normally gets educated in the academy for, depending on the position where he will sit later on, he will spend there 1 to 3 weeks or something and gets educated. He gets some on-site trainings, he gets some e-learnings and so on. And after the new employee was educated, then he starts to work in his or her department. And when he starts to work, then maybe he has some questions, or maybe he has some good ideas, or maybe he knows something, or other employees know something. So let them share their experience. When someone knows something, then he has to write it down instead of getting the same questions 3 times a day or something, so that the other employees know where to look for those informations. And luckily, we have business solutions for all those personal matters. To find new employees, you can use the business solution ELO HR Recruiting, where you can start a personal request, where you can create some job offers, where you can manage your candidates, where you can rate them, where you can hire them, and so on. And after that, when you have to manage your new employee or the other employees in your company as well, you can use the business solution ELO HR personal file, where you can manage the personal files, and on the other hand, the employees can manage the personal data for themselves. So let's say he or she has a new address, then he or she can change it for themselves. With the business solution ELO Learning, you can educate your employees. You can create learn paths, you can create certificates, you can make some e-learnings, you can the employee himself can see which trainings he has participated and which trainings he has to do and so on. And to share the experience and the knowledge, you can use the business solution ELO Knowledge. So let me take you on a journey through the way of an employee in our company, which starts with the business solution ELO HR Recruiting. In the business solution ELO HR Recruiting, you can start, or the recruiting process starts with an idea. Somebody says, well, I need a new employee in my department, and for this, he starts a new personal request. And when the personal request gets approved by his supervisor or by the HR department, then based on the personal request, they will create a new job offer. And in the new job offer, you write down the details of the personal request, and then you can publish it on different channels. So with the business solution ELO HR Recruiting comes a job portal which can be used to see the jobs on your website. When you get some new candidates or when you get some new applications, then you are able to manage them. You can you get an overview over the candidates. You can see the data of the candidates. You can see the documents. You can send them some mails. You can ask them some questions, or you can plan some interviews, and you can rate them. So the first step would be when you receive a new application, then I would say, well, let's rate the documents that the candidate has sent to us, his CV, his letter, and so on. And this would be the first step in the rating. Or when you had an interview, an on-site interview or a telephone interview, you can rate it as well. And you are able to invite other supervisors to make a rating, make the same rating, so you get a good overview which candidate is good for the job and which is not. And after you've hired him, then you can start the onboarding processes. And as I said before, every document, every email, the candidate's data, they will be transferred to his personal file. So let's have a look at our business solution, ELO HR Recruiting. So as I said before, with the business solution, ELO HR Recruiting, comes a job portal which can be used to publish the job offers on your own website. And what we see here, we have 7 job offers which are published on our job portal, and we can have a deeper look. This would be the marketing officer, where we have some qualifications, some other informations. And when I see this, and this is interesting, I can apply here. I have to register for it, and then I can apply to this job. How are we able to manage those job offers which are published on our job portal? We are able to access those job offers with our dashboard for the business solution ELO HR Recruiting, where we can see our candidates and positions. And when we select this dashboard, then we see every position which is published or is going to be published or was published. I can set some filters up here, and when we select the right one, the marketing officer, as we saw before, then we see the candidates who applied to this position. And we have 6 candidates. And when we select one candidate, we see the details of his application. So we get an overview of the most recent data we want to see, but we can make a deeper dive. We can look for the candidate's data. We can see his career level, for instance, or we can see his correspondence language. We also are able to see the communication data. We can see his address, and what we can see here is that we have already rated his application documents. When we want to get the rating for a candidate, we can select another one. We can select this one, and we now want to get a rating for the documents that she sent to us. We can select recruiting, and when we go to our candidate section, we can request a rating. And for our rating, we have some templates. You can edit these templates that they fit to your that they fit for your, you know what I mean. And you can define your own templates if you think, well, a rating for some other things would be necessary. But we want to rate the application document. So we select application document, and we can invite others to make the rating. I will invite 2 of my colleagues, Sandra Renz and Verona Funk. And down here we can see which rating criteria are stored in this template, and we can add another one. We can add, let's say qualification. And So I will send this rating to my colleagues, and now we wait until they send it back to us. No, they get a new task in their task section, and when they finished rating, we get an information that they have finished the rating already. So what can we do with the dashboard? We can select the state, the candidate, which we can select the state for the candidate. So this is a new application and the state is received. We can select here another phase. We can say, oh, this candidate will be or is on the short list. We can select the state, telephone interview, and so on. So the more you work with the candidates, the more you interview them, the more you rate them, the state changes. And at the end of the day, when the candidate has a good rating, when the candidate is good in his interviews, you can hire him here as well. You can communicate with the candidates. You can send them a message. You can schedule an appointment, or you can request some other informations. When we, let's say, request some informations, we need some more documents, or it's a normal request. And then a form opens with a text, and then when I click OK, the candidate will get an email, and the email that I have sent will be stored in the candidate's file. So let's have a look if the rating is in the task section of our colleague. My colleague Verona Funk uses the new desktop client, and here she has a new task in her task section. She has to rate a candidate. This is the same. This is the rating we sent her earlier. And when I say, or when I click on rate the candidate, then I have my 3 criteria here. We have a criteria for a cover letter. Well, I would say the cover letter, it's a good 5. The CV is a 6, and the qualification would be, let's say 5. And when I'm ready, then I can submit my rating. So I have rated a candidate. My other colleague, Sandra Renz, has to rate the candidate as well, but I finished my task. And so go away. When I go back to my dashboard and so, oh, sorry. And when I make a refresh, then I will see that we have now a rating for this candidate as well. So we have to go to a marketing officer. We have to select Lena Schmidt, and what we can see here, this is the rating Verona Funk made earlier on. But Verona can make a personal request as well. So she is the supervisor in a department, and she says, well, I need a new trainee in August for online marketing. So she goes to her desktop client, and here she can select submit a personal request. Then a new window opens, and in the new window she can write down her personal request. She wants a trainee for online marketing. Well, yes, online marketing trainee. This is not the description which is published in the job offer. There will be another description in there. You can select a category, let's say marketing. This is not permanent, it is temporary. Location is not reasonable. It's full-time. It will start on the 1st of August. And because it's temporarily, it will end on the 31st of August. Here you could enter the salary, but you don't have to. And here you have to provide a reason. So what would be a good reason for an online marketing trainee? We need help. And when I click OK, then the personal request goes its way. And this personal request goes its way to the HR department, where the personal request gets approved or declined. So now we are in our, let's close this one. Now we are in our HR department, where the view is pretty the same like in the other departments. And in our task section, we have our, no, we don't have our onboarding process. We have our personal request from Verona Funk, which she sent to us earlier. And I can accept the personal request. And well, I would say yes, they get a new trainee for August, and I have to provide my own comment, and I would say okay. So I confirm the personal request. The next steps would be that I would create a job offer based on the personal request, or when it's there, then I can use a template. So I can use the job offer from last year, where we were looking for a trainee for online marketing as well. And when I publish the job offer will be in our job portal. So this was our business solution HR personal file. And as I said before, when we hire our candidates, then the documents and the data from our candidate will move to our next business solution, our business solution ELO HR personal file, where you can manage the personal files from your employees or from the new employees. So what can we do with our business solution ELO HR personal file? On one hand, we can, it's clear, create some personal files the digital way. We can access existing data, and we can create personal files out of our candidate management in our business solution ELO HR recruiting. We can trigger some processes. We can trigger an onboarding or offboarding process. We can trigger another process like change the supervisor, change the department, or we can, well, even a process gets triggered when the employee has his birthday. We get notifications, as I said, when our employee has his birthday, then we get a notification. We can't forget it, but that's on the other hand, we get some other notifications like when the employee decides he wants to leave, we get a notification that he has to give his things back, and when his last day is, and so on. One thing is the employee can change his data for him or herself. So when the employee marries, or when the employee has a new address, he or she can change it for himself. And in the back, a process will be started where the HR department gets the information there is a change in the personal data of the employee, and you have to approve it. And when you've approved it, then the new data will be enabled in the personal file. We can create an organizational chart where we can see the companies, the departments, and the people working in the departments, where we can see who's the supervisor for this department and who's responsible for the HR, for example. And we meet all legal requirements with our ELO HR personnel file, so that the personnel files and the personal information get stored in a way that we meet the legal requirements. So let's have a look in our business solution ELO HR personnel file. So we're back in our HR department, and when we want to see our employees, we can select the dashboard for our employees. And what we can see here is that we have 14 employees in our company, and 2 of them are in process, which means that they are still in their onboarding process. 12 other employees are employed in our company, and nobody is former staff, nobody is inactive, and nobody is retired. We're a very, very young company. And when I select one personal file, let's say we select Bodo Kraft, then we can see his most recent personal data, that he is the CEO of our company, and that he is in our company since, well, 1998. That's very long, 22 years. We also are able to see his personal data, his address, and his communication data, or HR related data, his personal number. Oh, he was the first who started in our company. I think he's the founder. Then you see the company in which he works, the cost center, and so on. The department information are also stored here, and the employment information is also stored here. So as I said before, when we create a new personal file out of our business solution, ELO HR Recruiting, then most of the data will be filled out by themselves because we have collected them earlier on in the recruiting process. We are able to complete those data when the personal file is created. Then someone will get a task in his task section to complete the personal data. So what can we do with our HR personnel file? We can create some documents for the employee. We even can create a badge for the employee, or we can take a picture. When we define some templates, and we could create some documents. We have defined some templates in this particular case, or we can start onboarding, start offboarding, or change the supervisor, or we can create a new employee. So as I said before, every document and every data of the employee is stored in our business solution ELO HR personnel file. When you want to access the documents, you can find them here in the content section, and here is his badge, I think. Well, yes, looks like this is his badge. So this badge you can create by clicking on create badge. So on the other hand, the employee himself can change his or her personal data, and the employee himself can get access to his personal file. To get access to his personal file, let's say we are back to Verona Funk. and she wants to see what is stored in her personal file, and she wants to have access to her own personal file. She can get access, or she can request access to her personal file by clicking on access personal file, and you have to provide a reason to check data. I want to see if my data are correct, if my data are stored the right way, or if there's something wrong. And so I request access. What's happening now in the background is the request, the task for the request will be received in the HR department in the task section. And when they approve my request, I will get a digital copy of my personal file where I can see only those things which I am allowed to see. So you don't see any internal documents in the HR department which I don't have to see. So you only see those data which are relevant for you. And when you finished access to your personal file, then you say, yes, I'm finished, and the copy of your personal file will be deleted. You also are able to make those requests in the Launchpad. There is a Launchpad with, there comes a Launchpad with the Business Solution ELO HR personal file, which you can publish on your intranet or something. It's very easy in my case, where I can access my personal file as well. Would be the same process as we saw now, but I can change my HR data here as well. And when I want to change my HR data, I have to select what I want to change. I can change my contact information. So I bought a new phone and I want to change my phone number. Bought a new phone. Well, I bought it yesterday. And then I can change my new phone number. And the process starts here. The next step will be in the HR department, where they have to approve my request for changing my HR data. What can we change? We can, as I said, our contact information, my address when I've moved, my bank details, very important for me as an employee, my name when I've married and have a new name, my religion, and so on. So every data which change in the life of an employee can be changed here. You even can define some emergency contacts. When something happens to you, then the company knows who to call. And every action that I take here, every data that I change here, starts a process, and the HR department gets the notification, and they have to approve the change request. And when they have approved it, then the new data will be inserted in your personal file. So that's our business solution ELO HR personal file, and our next stop on our journey through the way of our employees is the business solution ELO Learning. With the business solution ELO Learning, so we hired a new employee and he has his personal file. Now we start to educate him. And for this, we have created a learn path where he has to start some trainings. This can be on-site trainings or e-learnings as well. You can define prepared learn paths depending on the department where the employee sits. And you have some, he or she has some time to finish his learn path, and they get some notifications. You get a training overview as an employee where you can see which trainings have I completed already and which trainings do I have to complete in the next 3 weeks or something. I get, as I said, notifications. Hello, you have to finish the training next week on Friday. Please start, it would be nice. And at the end of the day, you get some certificates and confirmations that you have completed some trainings. On top of this, you can create different training types, on-site trainings, e-learnings, and so on. You have some social learning tools included where you can challenge with other employees. It's possible to do mobile learning. So when you sit in the train on your way to work, you can make your e-learnings on the way to work as well. You can create recurring trainings, for example, for compliance reasons or something, and you can do some reporting and analyze the trainings. So here's a quick overview of our business solution ELO Learning, for example, our ELO Online Academy. This would be the start screen. I have an account in the online academy as well, but I didn't finish the training yet. But this was the start screen. This would be the course catalog where you can choose the trainings for yourself. When you say, oh, well, I want to know something for the ELO desktop client, then you can start the training here. You have your learning paths here. Here would be an ELO 12 upgrade learning path or the ELO suite for SAP Archive Link. And there you see which trainings have to be completed to complete this learn path. Here you get a quick overview over your courses, which you have finished already. And what we can see here in the upper left section, that we have many trainings for the ELO ECM suite, but database trainings are very poor and upgrade trainings as well. So we can say, oh, I need some more upgrade trainings, or I need some more database trainings. And on the right side, you see your courses by progress. You have, or we have 3 completed, 3 are enrolled, and 2 I have started. And in the last section, we find our certificates. So in ELO Learning, as I said, you can make some learn paths, which the employee has to finish, or you can provide some trainings which the employee can finish, or when he doesn't want to, then he doesn't have to. So, oh, this was fast. The last step in our journey through the business solutions for your personal matters is the business solution ELO knowledge. As I said in the beginning, when the employees have a possibility to share the knowledge, then they will do it. Because, well, I think everybody knows the situation when you get asked the same question 3 times a day, and you think, oh no, why have I to tell them every 2 hours the same thing? Would be nice when I could write an article and when I could share my knowledge. And with the business solution, ELO knowledge, you are not only able to share your knowledge by writing an article, but you are able to ask some questions, and the questions will be answered in the best case. When the question is answered, then other colleagues, other employees will find the answers for those questions. Or you have a good idea. Let's make videos for end users, for example. Then you are able to share this idea in our business solution, ELO Knowledge. And as I said, you can share your knowledge as well. So let's have a look in our business solution, ELO Knowledge. My name is Verona Funk, and I am responsible for online marketing in our company. And I was asked the question every day 3 times, how do I set up a webinar? And after the 3rd day where I got asked the question 3 times, I wrote an article on how to set up a webinar. And this I made with our business solution, ELO Knowledge. And everybody has access to this article when he or she wants to know how to set up a webinar. I will tell them there's an article in our ELO Knowledge. Please read it. And when you have some more questions, then call me again. And this is the description for how to set up a webinar. And as I said, everybody can access this description. I am able to ask questions as well, and I am able to share some ideas. So when I change the user, now I'm no more Verona Funk. Now I am Gerd Baum. And Gerd Baum has access to the knowledge board as well. And he sees, oh, Verona Funk has written a description on how to set up a webinar. And well, I like this description. I can rate the description or this article. The more the people like it, the more reputation I get as Verona Funk because I wrote the article. And this brings me one idea. It would be nice when we could make a webinar series, tips for working from home, because everybody has to work from home or had to work from home. And therefore, we can select here, suggest an idea. We can ask a question, suggest an idea, or write an article. So I suggest an idea. Webinar series, no, let's say video for end users. Because webinar series for tips for working from home is in the past. So I give a title to my idea and I say it would be nice to make some videos for end users that they see how cool ELO is. And I have to select a space. So this would fit into the, well, let's say marketing section. Yes, it's the best. For example, we in Austria have a space which is called ideas, where we would share such ideas, but I don't have it here. And here I can define some more topics. I would say video. I would say how to tutorial. What else? Oh, it fits. And here now I can share my idea by posting it. And what will happen now? I've shared my idea. Everybody who has subscribed to the marketing section or to one of the topics I provided will get a notification in their ELO client where they can see, oh, well, Gerd Baum has shared an idea with videos for end users. So when we go back to Verona Funk, go to our knowledge board. Oh, Verona Funk's knowledge board is. That's not normal. We go to our knowledge board, and here we can see, well, Gerd Baum has shared his idea videos for end users. And here I can comment it. I can say, good idea. Let's invite. Who to invite? Oh, let's make a meeting. Let's make a typing is not my strength. Good idea. Let's make a meeting. And I can rate the idea as well as we rated my article before. So this was an idea. When we have some questions, when Gerd Baum wrote a question in the 1 hour, 3 hours ago, I answered him, and he rated it as good. And now I have to change the state of the question to be answered. It was the state suggested. It is now implemented. Okay. My window is dancing. So, well, and my other colleagues would see that the question is answered, and they can rate the answer as well. And when it's the most suitable answer, I will get more reputation. So what the business solution ELO Knowledge provides you is a platform for sharing your knowledge, for asking questions, and I think it's very good for a company to let the people share their knowledge, because it's not only that I don't have to answer the questions anymore that I get asked three times a day, but the people can ask questions and they find the right answers in there. And when the employee is on holiday, or when he or she is ill, or when he or she gets retired, then you can keep the knowledge in your company. So, well, this was our journey through the 4 stations of the employee in our company. And what have we done? We have started with a personal request and with the recruiting process with the business solution ELO HR Recruiting. Then we made some digital personal files with our business solution ELO HR Personal File. With the self-service possibility for your employees, they can change the data and they can get access to their personal files. We made some trainings and education with our business solution ELO Learning. And we were able to share our knowledge and keep it even if the employee is not in the house anymore with our business solution ELO Knowledge. What they all have in common, our business solutions, are dashboards for an overview. You can start with your dashboard. You can you get an overview over the topic for the business solution, for your candidates and positions, for your employees, knowledge and learning, and so on. The workflows are included. You can use it as they are, or you can change it as you need. The forms are included. It's the same. You can use it as they are, and you can change it as you need. We have some possibilities to exchange data, to use existing data in your ERP or CRM system, which are stored already, so that we don't have to enter the data a second or third time. They all are able to file to store the data in a secure way. with compliant with legal requirements, and it's expandable. So when you say, well, let's start with the personal files to digitize our HR department to make the 42% who think the digital transformation in the HR department is very poor, or digitization in the HR department is very poor. You can start with the HR personal file, and then you can expand it by using additional modules like HR recruiting or ELO learning or ELO knowledge or some other business solutions which are available for you. So you can use records management for the public sector, you can use visitor management with ELO Visitor, or contract management with ELO Contract, or invoice management with ELO Invoice. Well, I hope you enjoyed the journey through on our way through the stations of an employee in our company. And when you have some questions, you can ask me now. Where is my question section?
There's one question. Thank you for your great presentation. Can you see?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It's very nice.
Okay, well, then I think I've explained it the right way.
Yeah, perfect. So no questions. That's great. Edgar, thank you for the interesting presentation. Thanks again to all attendees. I wish you all the best. See you soon.